Tēnā koutou e te iwi, ko Calebtekotiri kutia tōku ingoa.
Ko Jackie Danielle Moses tōku ingoa.
And we are the co-founders of Calebtekotiri Limited. The date is the 30th of April 2022.
I am 27 years old.
I am 26 years old. We have 1,038 followers. The biggest challenge for me is definitely my confidence in terms of sharing my knowledge and sharing what I know in terms of Maurako, Te Ao Māori in general. When it comes to Te Ao Māori, there's many aspects, many pūrako, many stories, and I was always afraid of getting it wrong because I want to keep people safe when it comes to Te Ao Māori. Everything we do has a purpose. It has a whakapapa. There's a pūrako attached to everything that we do, and there's always a reason why. And the realms that we work in, say for example Maurako, you don't really want to get things wrong, and I was always afraid of that. So that was probably my biggest challenge, is definitely my confidence.
So a follow-on from my darling's challenge, I think definitely flowed onto mine, and that is in terms of his confidence, trying to get him to do things was definitely my biggest challenge this year. And it's not just sort of do things, but in terms of the way that he felt confident and comfortable to share information. You know, we obviously wanted to capture that for our customers and to not just provide products, but to teach and to add value and to provide a bit of an overall experience. So I think because he wasn't at that stage where he was confident enough to do that, I found it very difficult to be able to produce content that was, you know, valuable and that people wanted, and to share parts of our story, behind the scenes, all those little things. So we definitely got into a couple arguments over those scenarios, but I think at the end of the day it's helped us grow so much from it, and we both are at an understanding now, especially as you do it and you sort of evolve every time, and we just try to do our best at the end of the day. But very interesting that his challenge sort of was my biggest challenge as well, trying to get him to do stuff. So I overcame that challenge by really, I guess, taking a step back and understanding some of the reasons behind how Caleb feels, and just to reassess, you know, the importance, and at the time, you know, just prioritizing what you need to do and when. So I really understood where he was coming from, and I didn't want to push him, you know, too far into it, and really just allowed him to naturally grow within himself. And, you know, this is both very new for us. We've never done this before. So that was definitely a pivotal moment for me this year, was just taking a step back, understanding that he works differently to me. You know, everything it's not sort of a checklist and a to-do list and expect him to do it. It's really just allowing him to work in the way he does, and I think that actually worked out really well for us moving forward. So that's how I overcame that challenge.
How did I overcome my challenge? I think it's definitely through education. I'm lucky that I had two very good mentors of mine down at Mihi, who I always ask about, you know, pūrako, and is this right, is that okay, and things like that. And one of the key things that came up was, as long as your intent is true and pure, then you have nothing to worry about, because you have no ill intent in your heart, and you don't think that what you're doing not is wrong, but that's not your intention, is to make it wrong. You're just trying as best as you can, and also being open to being wrong as well. I think also when I would post things up, I would also say, if this is incorrect, please say in the comments, because we're all just learning and we're just trying our best. So yeah, definitely having mentors around and not being afraid to ask those questions, to ask if this is correct, if this is wrong, and yeah, also being open to being wrong as well, which allowed me to be more confident in what I do and be more open to share the knowledge that I have. Biggest milestone for me has definitely been accepted onto the whakairo course under Te Wānanga Aotearoa. That was something that purely just came out of the blue and something that I was just attracted to myself. I didn't need motivation from anyone. I didn't need to be inspired from anyone. For me, it made sense because that seems to be the next way forward for our business in the future. And whakairo is something that I've always wanted to do ever since I've been at kura. I always envied all my friends who could carve and who could draw, and I just got in touch with one of my mates who happened to go through the course as well. He's an amazing carver, and he just said that he went through Te Wānanga Aotearoa, and I said, right, that's it, I'm going to do it. So yeah, that's definitely been my biggest milestone, and already I feel a lot more confident in my drawing. We just finished doing our kōwhaiwhai panels, which you guys saw me do a little bit of mihi on that, and then obviously had our first day on campus earlier this week, having a go on the tools. So it's exciting, it's new, it's scary, it's amazing. I love it, and to be under the tutelage of Corey Boyd as well. I'm just very, very fortunate and very grateful that I'm on this course. So yeah, that's definitely my biggest milestone.
My biggest milestone for this year was definitely being able to secure some funding for our pakihi under Tamaki Makaurau activation. So that was purely through a whim. We managed to send an email to Te Punikokiri, who then referred us to Tamaki Makaurau activation. We had to do a bit of a business plan, which was actually really exciting for us to sit down and articulate where we were at in our pakihi, where we wanted to go, what were our strengths and weaknesses, and a couple of those things that we had never really thought about. So that was quite an interesting process. And through going through that process, like I said, we were able to secure that funding, and we have our very first business mentor, which is so exciting. She is an absolute dream to work with. Super professional, super experienced, and just has so much knowledge about business, not just about business, but about Māori businesses and pakihi, and we just feel very fortunate to be in this position where we're able to seek that external support, and we are very excited to see where this will take us sort of in the future, and to really also allow us to understand where we currently are and how far we've come in the last year. I think that's really important as well, is to look back on how far you've come, and I guess that's the reason for this video and wanting to share where we are 1 year in. So very happy about that and looking forward to what's next.
Who inspired me this year? I actually have two. You guys could probably see my darlings holding the mic now because I talk with my hands. Anyway, who inspired me? Like I said, I have two people. The first one being my good friend, Sean Taylor. If you guys don't follow him, please do. He's an amazing whakairo artist, and even though I said before when I jumped onto the whakairo course that I didn't have anyone who inspired me, he was actually one of them as well, because he said he's never touched a chisel in his life, and then to see his progress and where he is now, it's incredible, and it really inspired me to give it a go. So he's definitely one. So nei rā te mihi kia koe e hoa. And then my second one would have to be Wharehuia Manly. So he goes by the name of ATR Aotearoa as well. He has a YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Facebook page, and he's got a lot of amazing content around Maurako. Maurako is definitely another passion of mine, and he was the one who actually inspired me to be a bit more confident about the things that I share in terms of just Maurako. So yeah, those two have been a huge inspiration for me, and if it wasn't for them, I honestly don't know where I would be. And it's cool because they've probably got no idea, and that's the beauty of it, is that I guess you never know who may be watching you and who may be just inspired from the things that you do, just in the background. So yeah, always just be kind and do the best you can, whānau, because you never know who you'll inspire.
The person who inspired me the most this year was Aroha Tamihana, who is the CEO behind My More Creative. Make sure you go check her out. The reason why she inspired me was when we were looking at starting our pakihi and sort of looking at inspiration around other Māori businesses around Aotearoa, she definitely stood out to me. And a few reasons for that was her authenticity as a person, the way in which she carries herself in her business, as well as just the simplicity of her brand. And she stays very true to herself and her values and her whānau, which I think is amazing. So that was definitely a huge inspiration for us. And again, she probably doesn't even know it. She probably has no idea who we are, but she was a pivotal person for me and really inspired me in terms of a lot of things, but especially the back end and sort of our brand in general. So
the odd message or the odd comment that we get from the whānau or other people who have purchased taonga from us, and they share their experiences or they share their stories and why they purchased one or who they purchased it for, and what inspired them to come across us in the first place. And it just happened that last night we sold our last tuakana in our Poutukawa collection, and there was a mama who sent through a beautiful message about her tama, about her son, saying that she saw him practicing in the backyard with a broomstick, and just felt drawn to get him a taonga. And then she said that hopefully in 5 years, or when he's ready to have his own taiaha, that I may be the one to carve his taiaha for him, as I'm learning how to carve on this whakairo course and in the years to come as well. And to be honest, it made me a little bit emotional, and it made me kind of really just motivated to do that. And it's almost like a promise that I'm going to keep to myself, and to just keep working hard and keep developing my skills as a whakairo artist, so that one day I can carve a rākau or a taiaha for him when he's older, when he's ready to take that next step. Yeah, and that's definitely what keeps me going. Yeah, and definitely all of the support from you guys at Te Whānau. We couldn't do it without you.
What keeps me going, very similar to what my darling mentioned, it's definitely all of you, and we love seeing your stories, and we love those people who share those reasons with us. It's just so beautiful, and it really does wake us up in the morning. I guess my other one is just the opportunity of where we could go with our pakihi, not just in business but also personally. We have already grown so much as people, as individuals, as a partnership, that I'm just very excited for the future and what that has to offer us. So I'm a person who sees a glass half full, so where we are today and, you know, where we may be this time next year, just really motivates me to keep going, to reach that furthest star and to just keep dreaming and work hard. So that's definitely what keeps me going. Advice to myself a year from now, you know, definitely with my darling, just to keep persevering. Like, we're going to go through more stuff and it's not going to be all rainbows, but just to keep that positivity, to know that everything happens for a reason. You are doing amazing. Stop working too much and actually take some time to rest and rejuvenate. But yeah, just keep moving forward and don't give this one too much of a hard time. Just when he needs it.
Advice for myself next year. Improve on your time management because you're terrible at it. Get a journal and write down things because you and planning do not go together very well. But don't be afraid. That's another thing. Don't be afraid. Share what you know because you never know who may benefit from it. There are a lot of people out there who maybe just can't find resources and you might be the only resource they have. So just do the best you can. And as long as the intent is there and is pure, you've got nothing to worry about. Learn along the way, like your darling said as well. There are going to be more challenges. Learn to balance, but again, take some time off when you need it. And yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So there you have it, e te whānau, 1 year in business. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. And time again, we always say it, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Nei rā te mihi nui kia koutou, for all of your support, all of your tautoko, all of your aroha, your criticisms, just everything. Because not only is this brand ours, but it's your guys as well. And the things that you say to us help us improve to be better. Again, not just for us, but for you. And yeah, we really appreciate your guys' support to us. But yeah, again, nei rā te mihi nui kia koutou. Ai, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Tūturu o whiti whakamaua kia tīna!
Tīna!
Huia! Tāi ki e!